College Hill, y'all. Okay. So I think this is episode 5. So last week, they had their midterms in 3 different classes. In African American class, literature, I believe, right? Yeah, African American literature. They had one in the civil rights class, and then they had one in the French class. It was just a lot. It was a lot on the people, and I don't know if I could have did it if I was there. Okay. But anyway, okay. So first of all, we see 4 of the castmates. I think it was Orion, Iman, Tiffany, and Quay. Okay, and they're in their acting class. Oh, they had an acting midterm. My bad. So it was acting, African American literature, um, the civil rights class, and then French. Okay. So we start off with the acting class, and who's my favorite teacher? That man, whoever he is. They said his name, but I forgot. He just seems so cool, and just he'll get you told in a minute, and I love it. But anyway, so we have those 4 there, but we're missing their partners. So who's missing is Parker, Jocelyn, Ray J, and Amber, which is kind of shocking to me. Not that Ray J and Jocelyn is late in particular, because it's a pattern, but the fact that Parker and Amber was late. And I was just like, oh, this is just something that the producers or whatever judged up for drama purposes. Because I just, things can happen. We all be late and oversleep. But I'm just like, it's so weird for all 4 of them to be like late like that. But anyway, we get to the whole thing. So Orion and Ray J, they was matched up. They were a team. And basically in the acting thing, they basically just had to like sell something to each other or whatever. And just have like a conversation. And Orion and Ray J, they talked about funeral home business or whatever. And Ray J, no, it was a job interview. That's what it was. I think all of them was job interviews, I believe, for different things. Orion and Ray J, they had a funeral home. Quay and Jocelyn, they were a match. They had like she was trying to get an acting job. Parker and Iman, something about a Subway sandwich. And then Amber and Tiffany, something about her getting a job working at the hospital or something like that. But Ray J and Orion's was the most entertaining to me. Ray J was talking about, him and Princess doing the nasty in a casket or something. He don't have a problem being around dead bodies and stuff. And it was a mess. Jocelyn was screaming and hollering. Parker's and Iman's was just kind of odd, and they just started flirting with each other in a way. And then Amber and Tiffany, Tiffany is Tiffany. Tiffany is New York, so there you go with that. Okay, moving on from that. They have their midterm in old boys class, a civil rights class, and Jocelyn gets up there and she talks about this Dominican guy who was a big part of the Harlem Renaissance movement. And, she's Dominican and, Puerto Rican. It's a Puerto Rican guy, Afro-Latino. And, yeah, good. Okay, Orion, he talked about the Black Panther movement, which is very dominant in the West Coast, California, where he's from. Then Iman, he talked about the Chicago Defensa. I think he's from Chicago, I believe. And he talked about that group. Amber, she talked about Congress Racial Equality group. It was a group of black and white students who, formed together to try to try to make things more equal for everybody, in particular black folks. And she related to that, of course, for obvious reasons. So then we see Ray J. Ray J talked about Robert Paris Moses. He was an activist in the civil rights movement. And also his own grandfather. Ray J's grandfather was also, an activist and drove buses and stuff back then for them. So he was very a participant as well. So that's cool. Let me see. So we get to the African American literature class, which was a hoot to say the least, and just a really just kind of all over the place. I felt like most of them did the best they could, but it was odd. So in this class, they had to talk about what did she say? They had to do like a not a Negro spiritual, but something like that. You know, basically explaining like the slaves and how they would have felt back then, or like a scenario on how to get out of whatever the situation they probably would have been in, and you know, just a whole narrative moment. Create a story, pretty much, is what I got from it. So who was grouped up in this was Tiffany and Parker. Tiffany started singing her song, and Tiffany is just a whole show. New York would never understand how funny she is. I don't even think she gets it, but because I just feel like she's genuinely just been herself. And it's so funny. She's so entertaining, New York. But it was all over the place, child. But who was even more all over the place was Orion, Iman, and Jocelyn's team. But they were sitting up there laughing at Tiffany. I'm just like, child, well, y'all ain't do no better. It was a mess. It was a mess. Then Amber, Ray J, and Quay went up there, and they was talking about, you know, having a whole Django moment where the slaves would, you know, take out the white man and everything, and blood and gush and all that. Clearly, they let Amber take over for that assignment. And I said, child, it was a lot. We got to the French midterm. Though none of them know French yet. It was funny. Quay and Orion are trying to have a conversation with each other, child. They speak in two different languages. Neither one of those languages was French. And we see Jocelyn and Ray J. They're making it all nasty and sexual, child. I said, Lord have mercy. So moving on from that, the midterms are over. They don't know their grades until like this week or whatever coming up on this new episode. Parker calls her mom. Parker's mom is white. And she just talked to her mom, basically. And talked about how she used to be scared to dance back in the day, but she actually signed up for the little dance team for the Magic City Classic. So it's very interesting. She's kind of conquering her fears in a way. So good for her. I like Parker. Okay. So next thing we see is Orion, Amber, and Ray J. They're taking shots, chilling outside, talking. And they talk about their first cuss words they ever said, you know, as kids and stuff. And then the conversation switched to Amber, and she was talking about how it's just she comes from a unique experience, being mixed and all that. And she was chatting with Parker earlier about it. And she says that she's more comfortable in black spaces, and when she's with a white men don't really get her, don't get her essence or whatever. They say that she's too black and blah blah blah. But then she says if with black men, if she do something that they don't like or don't understand or whatever, then that's her white side or whatever coming out. Ray J simply told her, well, ultimately it's just about being yourself. That's all Ray J said. And she got mad and talking about let's change the subject. Amber is a child by I like her, but I don't at the same time, because it's like any opportunity that she gets to play that role or like switch up, she do. That's why I don't be trusted. Anyway, y'all black men love them, child. Love them. Put them ambiguous folks on a high pedestal, child, and they show you who they are. Let me stop. So anyway, okay, so we get to, they had another class where they was talking about whatever the hell it was talking about. Yeah. So anyway, New York, I got my notes, child, because there'll be a lot happening on College Hill. And a lot of it is really interesting to me because I'm learning as I'm watching. So that's why I be writing stuff down in particular with this this show. So New York is on edge. She's upset. She's just nervous about everything. She don't know how she's going to do on her midterms. She is just trying to figure out. She says school was always hard for her, and she just really want to do well. She thinks she's going to fail. She's just nervous wreck and just all over the place. So she walks down the steps one day and she steps into some hot cakes, some little Debbie cakes or whatever that Ray J left out. And she got mad, came outside, cussed Ray J slam out. In which, that is annoying, stepping on some food. And I don't think she had on shoes either. So, cakes and all that stuff in between your toes is not it. But, they was just like, girl, what's going on? They all understand that, New York was just, having a moment. She apologized to Ray later on in the episode. It was fine. Let me see. Parker's on the dance team. New Yorker's on the flag corps. And Quay is in the drumline, child. So they're practicing for that. We got Magic City Classic coming up, and everybody's just super nervous about it. And so that we get to Birmingham, Alabama, which is where Magic City Classic is held. We get there. Parker would look pretty. New York looked pretty. And Quay looked handsome, in his little get-up, his black and gold. And so they get there. It looks super fun. I would love to go one day. So Parker's rehearsing behind the scenes. She's super nervous, talking to one of the girls on her team. She just don't want to mess up, and it's just a lot happening. And she was just like super scared the whole time. They were all nervous. But they literally got out there and did their thing. They all did well. New York was New Yorkin', the show. And, New York is that girl. She's the HBIC for a reason. Love her or hate her. New York she's a star. She is. She's done stuff in the recent years that I don't really like. But listen, she's the HBIC. And in my opinion, not that this matters, but in my opinion, New York is the most famous one on the show. Anyway, no shade. I just had to throw that thing out there. Okay, so, anyway, let me see. Maybe she's the most famous woman, and then Ray J is the most famous guy. I'll say that, I guess. Let me see. So they get back to the house. They taking shots or whatever. Turn it up. Then all of a sudden it gets weird. When people get drunk, you either be one or four things, right? When people get drunk, people either want to fight, they want to cry, they want to screw, or they are just like how I am when I get drunk. I'm just an extension of who I am. I'm just, more confident, louder, probably singing out the ass, laughing a lot more. I'm just myself, just amped up. But some people, child, just do not need to drink, but they keep doing it, don't they? Especially that particular alcohol that makes them act a certain kind of way. They keep drinking that same act. I'll be like, well, I know you don't want to try something new and get sick possibly, but if you claim it's the alcohol as to why you act this certain kind of way, why keep drinking that particular kind? But whatever. People are people, right? So apparently, it was a situation with the aux cord. Jocelyn wanted the aux cord, but apparently Quay was taken up for Amber because it was Amber's time for the aux cord or whatever. Amber likes to play rock music and heavy metal around all these black folks. And Jocelyn was just like, I just don't want to hear what Amber wants to play. I'm tired of hearing that. I want to hear my song or whatever. So, Jocelyn, and her attitude, and her and Quay got into it, child. It was a whole moment. So then Quay leaves, and then Amber follows behind Quay, and she's basically was just like, well, I don't understand. What's your issue with it? And Quay apparently was taking up for Amber. It was a weird scene. I couldn't understand what was happening. And then Quay and Amber kind of got into it. He basically told her, just forget it. Just F the situation. Amber got all upset and wanted to leave the room, child. And Quay came in there trying to talk to her and apologize. And Amber storms down the steps. She's upset and weird, and I'm sure she's gonna go into one of them black men's room. And somebody gonna come and give her a hug and all that. You know, Amber's just. I'm not trying to take away nobody's pain or nothing. The stuff that girl done been through. I'm sure she's been through a lot in her life, a lot of bad stuff. God bless her. She made it out. But, girl, everything is just amplified and just extra, and her time and her feelings and her da-da-da. Quay, stay out that girl face, okay? Be cool with everybody, but stay out her face. You don't owe Amber nothing. When did you end up getting closer to Amber than Tiffany? I thought Tiffany was your girl, but you done switched to Amber, child. Amber done play that card. Amber know how to benefit when she want to benefit. Child, bad. But Quay was crying on camera. I was like, girl, what is you crying for? Man up. Hell. You know, crying. I got all these feelings for this woman. Please. She didn't care about Jocelyn being Jocelyn, so why did you? Like I said, alcohol was involved. And when alcohol is involved, everybody's personality is just, it takes a turn. It's heightened, whatever it is. So anyway, this is a pretty decent episode. I'm liking College Hill this so far. I watched last season. I liked last season, but you know, I'm definitely loving this season. It's good. It's good. I think maybe it's 3 or 4 more episodes. I don't know. We'll see. I think next week is the week where Jocelyn and Amber's gonna get into the fight, child, apparently. So I mean, it's gonna be a mess. How's y'all fighting on these college grounds? I'm just like, oh, child. Anyway, with that said, I'm MrChalaki. MrChalaki on Google+. Follow me at @SkinsWorld on Instagram and Twitter, at @SkinsWorld89 on Snapchat, Chase King on Facebook, MrChalaki on Cash App and PayPal, Chasey Boy on TikTok. And with that said, I'm MrChalaki. And I already said that. Run me my money or run me my fade. Run me my money the way I get paid. Stay black, stay tuned. I'll see you guys later. Bye.